Step 1, decide you want to be anonymous. That sounds obvious, but most people never even get past this because they like the idea of privacy more than the reality of it. Maybe you're a pen tester who needs solid opsec. Maybe you're tired of ads stalking you across the internet like a clingy ex. Maybe you just don't like the idea of corporations knowing your sleep schedule better than you do. Or maybe you saw some hacker flex their setup on Twitter and thought, yeah, I could do that. Step 2, realize you absolutely cannot do that yet. That person has been practicing operational security for years, made hundreds of mistakes, and learned from all of them. You're seeing the highlight reel, not the paranoia and broken setups behind the scenes. And if it makes you feel better, real anonymity requires sacrificing convenience, and most people will never give up Netflix, Instagram, or one-click logins. That's why they're not anonymous. That's your edge. Before we dive in, if you like the way I break this stuff down and you actually want to learn hacking the right way, Cyberflow Academy isn't just another learning platform. We provide focused, advanced courses in key areas like website hacking, bug bounties, osint, reverse engineering, and more. Material that goes far beyond what can be taught on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll get another strike. You also gain access to our active and ambitious Discord community, where you can reach me directly whenever you need guidance. And listen, I know that cybersecurity evolves fast, so I have made a commitment to constantly update the material and add new courses. We already have 500 plus members learning, landing bounties, and applying these skills in the real world. So what are you waiting for? Join through the link in the description and use code Cyberflow50 to get a whopping 50% off, so hurry up. Step 3, acquire your tools. Maybe you already have a decent laptop. Maybe you dig up an old ThinkPad from your closet. Or maybe you're about to go spend money you probably don't need to spend. A rational person would start with free tools like Tor browser and a hardened Firefox setup. But you're on YouTube, so someone is definitely convincing you that you need 3 VPNs stacked together, a hardware firewall, and a Faraday cage for your room before you even turned off Windows telemetry. But congrats, you now have a setup. Next step, realize the convenience tax. Nobody tells you this, but once you start taking privacy seriously, nothing works normally anymore. Banking apps break, logins fail, sites block you, CAPTCHAs become your full-time job, and something that used to take 10 seconds now takes 30 minutes. Your friends will ask why you don't just use normal apps, and you'll slowly turn into the guy explaining metadata at random moments. And the worst part is this never fully goes away. Even years later, you'll still hit services that force you to choose between privacy and actually getting something done. Also, ignore the marketing. VPN ads screaming military-grade encryption are targeting people who don't understand how any of this works. A VPN does not make you anonymous. It shifts trust from your ISP to the VPN provider. That's it. If you actually want progress, understand your threat model instead of buying tools that promise magic. Realistically, you need Tor browser for anonymity, a trustworthy VPN like Mullvad or Proton for ISP privacy, a password manager, and basic awareness. If a tool is aggressively advertised, assume it prioritizes profit over privacy. Now the Tor phase. You've hardened your browser, switched search engines, disabled obvious tracking, then you install Tor. This is where half of people quit. It's slow, broken, and frustrating. Websites load like it's 2005. CAPTCHAs are everywhere, and some sites just block you completely. That's normal. You have to recalibrate your expectations. Use Tor for sensitive actions, not everything. And follow basic rules. Don't maximize your window. Don't install extensions. Don't torrent, and never log into real accounts. The second you mix identities, you defeat the entire point. After a few months, you get bored of basic privacy and go deeper. You install Linux, maybe Ubuntu, maybe Mint. You feel powerful, and to be fair, it is empowering. But then reality hits. Things break, your printer stops existing, apps don't work, you're compiling stuff from source and questioning your life choices, and you realize Linux isn't magically private. Some distros still have telemetry, and you can still install invasive software if you're not careful. So for the next few months, you go down the opsec rabbit hole. You start understanding how hard real anonymity actually is. At this point, you hit a fork. Either quit because it's too inconvenient, or accept you'll never be perfectly anonymous, but you can be way better than 99% of people. If you pick the second option, you keep going. You balance convenience and privacy instead of chasing perfection. Then you level up to network privacy. You hear about Pi-hole or pfSense and think, what if I controlled my entire network? So you set it up. Ads disappear, trackers get blocked, and suddenly you see how much your devices phone home. It's impressive until things break again. Smart devices stop working, family complains, and you start learning about DNS quirks you never asked for. But you adapt. After that, you go deep into compartmentalization. Different identities, different browsers, separate emails, isolated environments. You learn about fingerprinting, tracking techniques, and how easily people can piece together your life. It gets weird fast. You start double-checking everything before posting, stripping metadata, thinking twice about every action. Eventually, you try advanced setups like Tails or Weenix. You test yourself with osint to see what you're leaking. It's humbling. You're still leaking more than you thought, just less than before, but that's progress. Then comes the private phone phase. You install something like Graphene OS, feel like a genius, and immediately face the trade-off again. Full privacy means losing convenience. Total de-Googling is not realistic for most people. Finally, you accept the truth. Privacy is a spectrum, not a destination. You're never going to be perfectly anonymous, but you can be significantly harder to track than the average person. Then you try to convince others. It doesn't work. Convenience always wins, and that's fine. Privacy is personal. If you're starting now, this is honestly the best time to do it. There are more tools, more resources, and more awareness than ever. But just remember, this isn't about buying tools or copying setups. It's about understanding trade-offs and making intentional decisions. And yeah, there was always the easier option. Just accept surveillance, use everything normally, and never think about it. But where's the fun in that?
Still stuck in tutorial hell. We got full courses step by step as well. Web hacking labs, real attack flow. Not click here, actually break the code. Reverse engineering, crack moves inside. Gidra open, ego died. Bug bounty methods that actually scale. Find one vuln, that's grocery money mail. $29, that's it bro. Skill goes up, that's Cyberflow. Python for hackers, C plus Spain. Build your own tools like this, that own. New course dropping every month. No content drought, we stack it up. Private Discord, killers in chat. Stuck on a bug, we fixed that.